Hey everyone, welcome back to another Suzero YouTube video. You join me outside in my garden at home. We're still in lockdown, so I hope you're all keeping fit and healthy and making sure that you're safe at home. Now, this video is coming out at a different time to our normal videos. Obviously, normally they come out on a Sunday evening. This video coming out to you today. So the reason for this video coming out to you today is that this video forms a different part of a series that we're filming called the Suzero Success Stories. Now, what is the idea behind Suzero Success Stories? Well, as you know, we are addicted to helping you improve, helping you become healthier in every element, every aspect of life. So what we thought would be a fun idea is to interview some of the amazing people that we have met on our journey. Everyone from fellow entrepreneurs to athletes to cooks to everyone who is succeeding in their field. Now, the common denominator with everyone who's going to be interviewed and we're going to do a video with in this series is that they are all super passionate about health and improving themselves daily. So look at this series as an insight into some really great minds, some people who are at the forefront of different industries and doing really cool things, and just learn from it. Some of the videos you might find interesting, more interesting than others, but that's probably going to be because you're interested in certain different topics. We're trying to mix it up as much as possible and just get some really cool people on the series and film videos with. So if there is anyone, sorry, that you want us to interview or want us to speak to, then do just shout, send us a DM. But the first video that you're about to watch is actually, I'm going to keep the guest as a surprise. So watch on in this video. We hope you enjoy it, and please stick around and watch the next one. So thanks everyone for joining us. This is our first ever Suzero Success Story video. For this episode, we have a super exciting guest. He's a former athlete who is now the CEO and founder of a multi-award winning fitness initiative called RParks. Welcome to Suzero Success Stories, Born Barikor.
Hey, how you guys doing?
There we go. Well, we're doing this in lockdown, aren't we? So we're going to have to be our own audience today, but we'll figure it out as we go.
The best
Born,
audience.
before we get into RParks, what I really want to know is, a former athlete, what was your sport and how did you get into it?
Yeah, I mean, so I used to be decathlon was my sport or my discipline in athletics. A jack of all trades, master of none, should we say. And that pretty sums me up, actually. I like to do lots of different things at the same time. And I was pretty good. I mean, GP coach, got injured before 2012, so couldn't make 2012. And I think from the decathlon training, there's lots of disciplines and lots of regimes that you go through every day to improve your time or to improve the way how you jump or your distance, which really lends really well to business. So I kind of used that energy I had through training to think of our parks, and obviously we'll get into it a bit later. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed being a decathlete, and I do miss the training, even though sometimes you left on the floor throwing up and crying out for mercy, should I say?
I think, see, that's definitely for a select few people. I mean, I'm a bit of a runner, and I used to play hockey and used to do hockey coaching, but like even this morning I was out for a run and it ended up not in a great way at the end of it. But yeah, I think it takes a certain type of mindset to want to push yourself to throw up. So yeah, I hear you with that. But so decathlon, did you pick that up like at school? How did that come about? Because that's, is a little bit different from the likes of football or rugby, say.
Yeah, so it came about, I lived in Tower Hamlets, and not too far from a track called Myland Stadium. And I was just really good at high jump. So we used to do our school sports days, and I would high jump. And when I was 14, I was jumping 2 meters. I'm not very tall, but jumping that kind of height. So I used to go to English schools, and I got picked up by a coach called Dalton Grant, who at the time was an Olympian, and he had the British record at that time as well for, I think it was 2 meters, 37. And he said to me, look, you're really good at high jump.
Yeah.
You should really train. And I was like, no, I'm cool. I'm just doing it for fun. And it got to a point where I could come in on a school and a national kind of level. I could come into any competition without training and win. And then you get selected for national team.
Yeah.
And you go away and you do a competition. And I think that was the shock to my system, where I rocked up and I would normally come in at 195 or something crazy.
Yeah.
But everyone was coming in at 195. So it wasn't a special thing that I'd come in at 195. And I lost. I came fourth. It was at the Catholic Youth Games. That was the first time I ever lost in high jump. Okay. And it was a really strange feeling for me. And then I went back and I didn't train. I didn't do athletics for a while. I went off and made music. So I used to make grime music with the likes of like the massive stars now, but like Dizzy and Wiley and all those guys. We were running around when it wasn't called grime music. We were just going to clubs and making music.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was exciting times. You toured around the UK and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I came back to athletics, but I came back as a 400 meter runner. But bearing in mind, I still had that high jump experience. I could jump really high.
Yeah.
I was really good at 400 meters and the sprints. And then all I really needed to do was add the throws into it. And then it was, bam, I can see where I can be. I can be a decathlete. So it's a mixture of years of training and doing other stuff that led me back to becoming a decathlete. And I think that was, if I'd have done it earlier, I think I would have enjoyed it more. I kind of fell into it near the end of my career.
Yeah, awesome. No, I hear you. And then did you say you got injured then? And that's how it kind of ended? Or was it just more a case of other things come up in life and it kind of takes over that way?
Yeah, I was doing a lot. I mean, I was still making the music. So we were still trying to make those #1 hits and trying to make money from the music.
Yeah.
I was doing the gym stuff as well. So as you are when you're in your teens or mid-20s, you just want to have a six-pack and the biggest arms on the block. So I was doing that. And I just didn't have the time to apply to athletics, even though my coach would just always ring me up, where you at training. And when I was there, I loved it. And it was not being conditioned, doing too many things and being tired and pulling hamstrings. It's just basic stuff where you need to warm up, you need to cool down.
Yeah.
You can't just jump into a session. And you don't really realize that when you're in your peak. You feel like you're invincible. And now I know, obviously, because I'm older, I know that I'm not going to just go and start doing 100-meter full blast without warming up. So it's all those little mistakes you learn from, but also make you a better person in the end.
Yeah, of course. And do you reckon that love of fitness, is that what led to R Parks? Now, I mean, I'm going to let you explain a little bit about R Parks, and we'll kind of cover it in more depth. But yeah, at what point did it start, and what was the why? Like, what is the real essence of what gets you up and gets you going for R Parks?
Yeah, it's definitely, the why is so on my estate, so where I grew up, it was one or two things that could happen. I could be an athlete or football player, whichever one to be. Yeah. Or you could be trapped in just doing what the estate does to you in terms of sitting on the wall and just doing stuff you shouldn't be doing. And I think experiencing coaching. So first one was high quality coaching because I was good. I managed to experience coaching to a level that I didn't know existed. Yeah. And that's people really caring about you, really trying to get the best out of you as an individual. Yeah. For sure. And then from there, going places like meeting people and socializing with people I never would have known through coaching is amazing. So like never leaving the estate and going to Gran Canaria for a competition, it blew my mind. I was like, what? There's so much around here. And I said to myself, like I always said, when I grow up, I want to give back. So I want to give everyone the access to high quality exercise, no matter how much money they have or where they live. Yeah. So our park was kind of born on the fact that when I finished the athletics and was injured, I was working for a gym at the time. Cool. And I realized that I couldn't even afford to pay to go and work out in the gym I worked at. So it was like,
Wow.
there's something fundamentally wrong here.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I'm trying to get people into this leisure centre that are inactive and not fit, but I can't even pay for it myself, and I'm a fit and I like exercise, and so I said to myself, I can't do this anymore. So I decided, it was my mum really that said, she went off and went for a run, and she went around a local park in Barking, and she was like, wow, there's so many people out there running, but I really wish we could just do some exercise that doesn't cost £60 a month, because the boot camps that happen in the parks, again, it's just too expensive, they're pricing everyone out. So I decided that I was going to make exercise free through using data to show councils and sponsors, if we can just get these inactive people that live a mile away from a park, because in London you live on a mile away from a park, moving regularly, the amount of money you save in the future from inactivity related diseases will trump the amount of money you're going to spend on a session. So it was kind of getting education and educating the nation. So what we need to be doing is giving this set of people or groups of we call our users parkers, opportunity to take part in high quality coaching. And that's where our parks was born. We started in Waltham Forest 6 years ago now, with like one park. I kind of remortgaged my house and all that kind of stuff to pay for the technology. And no one turned up.
Oh no! What, the first session? No one.
No one turned up. I was there in the rain, and no one turned up. And it happened a few times, like the first 3 or 4 sessions. And I'm thinking, have I done the right thing here? It's like, is my passion to make everyone fit and active really gonna have me survive? Because it wasn't, for me, it wasn't around making money ever, but you still need to pay the bills to make the initiative work. But then what we did really well is very agile. We kept it. We did the minimum. So, and most of the people watching this would have read Lean Startup and lots of entrepreneur startup books. If you haven't, have a look at some of the stuff out there. Innovator's Solution, the Lean Startup, Innovator's Dilemma. There's lots of stuff I can throw at you. We'll do a reading list. And luckily, I was well read, and I kind of adapted a way in which I was going to build the business. And that was going to be very agile, listen, learn, and go for a build, measure, learn, feedback loop till we get results happening. So we went through that loop, and I started changing things, like putting meeting points, changing locations, and suddenly we had 10 people, and we had 100 people. And now, like in year 6, we have 150,000 people that do it every week. So we kind of got through that loop. And this is with like no marketing as well. It's with viral word of mouth and all that kind of stuff. And we work with some really big sponsors as well. So I think it was athletics that led me to be able to do that, because when you're training and you're trying to shave some time off your PB, you would try new things. You would say, okay, let's try this session, a plyometric session, and this time let's increase the distance so we can get you some more range every time you step. It's those little things you learn through delivering and training with a coach, which I apply to business, and I'm continually applying to my business, because as an athlete has to continually improve. As a business has to continually improve. You stay in the same place you were when you started, you just die. Every business knows that. So it's been fun, as well as stressful.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, it's funny you draw on that, because I think sports people make great entrepreneurs. I think the similarities in, the work ethic and making sure you don't give up. And I mean, I have to ask, so if you had no people turning up at those first kind of sessions, I mean, what were you thinking? And at what point did you say, like, no, I've got to carry on with this? Was it you felt you had the knowledge to reposition it and, like you say, be agile? Or was it more a case of, no, I definitely believe in this, it will come? Like, what was the thought process there of not giving up ultimately?
Yeah, it was. So it was having the knowledge to know that there's two things you can do. You can persevere, or you can pivot. And knowledge to know that I know where I want to, how I want to play. I know where I want to win. I just don't know the journey to get there yet. And I know, and you see this all the time. You see the person that does the same thing every day and gets the same result, but doesn't change anything in that delivery. That's the crazy scientist. So I know that I didn't want to be the crazy scientist. I wanted to be the crazy scientist that was willing to try every sort of delivery mechanism to get my crazy idea to work. That's where it came from. I think lots of entrepreneurs, they have an idea and then they put it out and I say, wait, I'm great, I'm very excited, I want to see what happens. They put it out and they always win and see what happens. So if nothing happens, they've seen what happens, but they haven't had a way of managing the innovation. So we do a thing called innovation accounting, which means with an idea you can't, that no one else has done before. There's no way of you accounting for success. So that's why it's very hard to go to a bank and get a loan if you've got a new idea, because they can't pull it into their system and say this is going to happen. It's not a dry cleaners. It's not an accounting firm. We don't know the moving parts. So as an entrepreneur, you have to be really, really focused on knowing what is going to be your milestones and how are you going to measure that your innovation is working. I put together something called a brand averse, which allowed me to measure that and show me the milestones and tweak stuff. So even though it is a outdoor exercise program, it's very much data driven. I mean, I'm a massive believer of, I don't think people know what they want, but they know how to behave in the way in which they want to behave. So the moment you can track how they're behaving, and Amazon does this all the time, they just give you what you want. Because they're tracking your behavior, you will always win. So it's very windy today, guys. You'll always win. So, and that's what we did. So it wasn't a case of being kind of focused on persevere. It was a case of being focused on an idea, but not being afraid to be wrong and change it. Whereas many people don't even launch anything because they're afraid that it might not work, and the embarrassment of not working kind of stops so many people from doing their dreams.
I completely agree with that, and I think that sport mindset of continually wanting to improve and develop when you are involved in not even high level sport but just sport, and where it really captivates you get those values, and that's why you want to push on and carry on. So I mean, that's exciting. I mean, so you say 150,000 people a week, right? Is that where you're at now? Okay, that's
where we're at now. That's where we're at now.
Yeah, and in terms of talking about innovating and constantly developing, I know one of your goals is to get to 250,000 a week. What is the kind of process for that? Are there things that you can share? I mean, I'm sure you've got loads of secret projects and amazing things you've got going on, but where is it going? Where's it getting exciting for you?
I mean, the new digital piece we're in at the moment is very exciting. Because now we're reaching more people easier at the moment. So the old model was, we have a park, we get a council or someone to fund it, and then we find the coach, auditions, all that kind of stuff. We then deploy the coach to that park and we get them to get as many people down to that park. So you're governed, even though we're in an outdoor space, so it's not as strict as a studio where you've got 30 people, some classes can have 100 people, all that kind of stuff. But you're still governed by taking the exercise to the park, and then people have to come to that park. The great thing about us now at the moment, and it's been forced based on the situation we're in, as humans, we're very impatient, and that's happened because we can get what we want when we want it, a click of a button. So from your Amazon to your Netflix to even paying for something, it's so instant. And for instance, when I was landing on the train, I was on the train and guy approaching the barriers, he clicks his watch, it takes a second to register, and he gets so angry, oh God, bloody watch. I'm like, wow, do you know how far you are? We
Yeah.
came, like, we used to have to hold our thing. Someone has to read it. Like, you have to find your travel card. Someone has to look at it and read it and then let you through the date. And now you're clicking your watch and going through a gate.
Yeah.
And that's what we're up against. So if we're up against that, we have to find a way to make that process and that journey even quicker every week and every year. We set ourselves a target of making our user journey 10 seconds quicker. So you work out what your user journey is, and you say, okay, if I'm going to win in the future, I need to make the way in which they purchase, acquire, and find things. You have to improve that time every time you come to your website. Not many people do this. So a lot of people will add features and add more and more and more on top. But as you know, if you don't find it the moment you want it, you go somewhere else that you can find it the moment you want it. And that's I think that's if I can give it to any entrepreneur, your biggest trait should be, it's all back to measuring. If you're not measuring how quick people are finding you, how quick what your service is like, and how you're making it easier for them to get what they want when they want it, then you don't actually know if you're going to win in the future, because the people that know that keep kind of evaluating where they are and making it more efficient and more quicker for their users to take part in whatever they're doing.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I mean, it's interesting hearing you speak about, the growth and the development that our parks is going through. And do you think that, obviously you founded it yourself and, you very much lead it and face it up. Do you think that it goes through the same process of development that you do personally? Like, what are your secrets to developing who you are? And then does that feed into our parks? Or do you think those two are separate? Like, how does, an entrepreneur who's setting something up, especially a brand, like yours, how do they set up a brand? Should they be together? Is that brand, an extension of your personality, or is that something that's completely separate?
Yeah. So I think the first thing you should always do with your brand is find out who is your brand who. So if you don't have a brand who, because humanization is the best way in which people communicate with each other. So people don't communicate with logos. People communicate with real people. So any big brand you see, they will have, so whether it's Nike and they've got all their brand ambassadors, Federer, whoever it is, they're making those guys their brand who to sell more trainers and whatever they're selling. And the best company. So when you think of any company, there will be a picture, and even if you still think of Apple, there'll be a picture of Steve, even though he hasn't been here for a while, because they managed to give you that who is your brand who, and then they were very much, even though it's an extension of the founder or CEO, whoever it is, it's still an impartial position to take. So if you're very opinionated or you have certain views, and then you make your brand have those views, you kind of eliminate the reach to only people that think like you think. And you will see with our brand, it's my views are very impartial. I like to be a very impartial person. And the only thing I want people to do when it comes to our brand is get fit and have fun and meet new people. And that's it. So when you find out your brand who and your why, if you can make that run through anything you do, you won't have to worry about brand growth or how you position yourself in the market. It will happen organically. And that's a very important trait for an entrepreneur, because it's very easy to make your business about you as an entrepreneur and not be able to separate. I'm my brand who, but it's not called Born Fitness Workouts. Or it's called Our Parks, and then it's not Born Turn Up. It's Turn Up's the t-shirt that they wear. Because that's the brand, and they know I'm the founder. But many, and not to say you can't put your name in the brand, you can do. But many founders try and make the brand so much about them. If they don't like them, you're not going to like the brand. So you really got to find a way to separate yourself from your brand, but whilst trying to be good and be your brand who.
I think that's such important advice, yeah, in terms of being able to lead it, but at the same time understanding that it isn't you. And in the same way, you know, there might be failures and successes. That's not necessarily reflective on you either. It's just, you know, how people are perceiving that, you know, product, brand, idea, initiative, whatever it may be. No, I love that. I think that's great advice. Look, I know we could chat for ages, but I'm conscious of time. And what I want to do is we're going to start in all of these videos, we're going to finish the interview or video, whatever you want to call it, by a final kind of 3 questions. Now, these are 3 questions that are just going to be set throughout. I'm not sure if you've seen these yet or not, but the first question, the only rule is that you've got to answer them in 1 sentence. Okay, so we might go off on a little bit of a tangent, but we'll see. The first question I want to know is, what has been your biggest failure?
So the biggest failure, it has to be when I first launched.
Okay.
And just not understanding the magnitude of what I needed from a tech perspective, and also how to operate social media.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't on social media, and I failed that in the first 6 months. But then I learned from the failure as well. So it was like I failed the tech side and social media side, but I didn't go, I'm not doing it. Whereas lots of people say, I'm not going to do that. It's not me. I want to do it my way.
Yeah.
I think I like to learn from failure and implement a way to make me understand it so it doesn't happen again.
I think that's a brilliant attitude to have. I mean, that sums it up. If anyone watching or listening this, you know, if you're setting something up and there's that initial failure, it's that, you know, as Born has said already in the during this chat, you know, reposition and figure out how you can do little things differently. Don't just get stuck in that rut. Love that. Second question is, what's been your biggest success?
It's gotta be. We've won lots of awards, so but I think our biggest award is, it goes into 2 parts. It's, we won the BT Industry Sport Award, which is like the Oscars of awards when it comes to it, for the community program of the year. And when we hit, I think we had about 60,000 people doing that at that time. And we beat some really, really big names, some $1 million pound campaigns to win that award. And that, for me, that made us aware that we were there. We were one of the leaders in the industry.
Yeah.
And also, we got there. We stopped asking people. So at the beginning, you would, and everyone does this. You're like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get sponsorship, and then it's going to work. And you put your idea up. You go somewhere, you say, "Can you sponsor this?" And they go, "No."
Yeah.
You go, "Why not? It's such a good idea." And you go, "Well, why? There's nothing happens for me sponsoring you."
Yeah.
And that, you get those no's, and then you realize there's two paths. You can say, "Okay, no one wants to do it. I'm going to go away and not do it anymore." Or you go, "Boom, let's say no. Do you know what? Let's just make our own hype." And that's what we did. We went off and made our own hype.
Yeah.
And then the people that said no, they came to us and said, can we do this with you? And it's that you have that light bulb moment when you realize, and anyone watching this, you're gonna, whatever you think at the beginning of your business, a partnership or sponsorship is a 2-way transaction.
Yeah.
So if you don't have anything to offer the other party, and you want them to pay money because you have a good idea, it's always going to be a no. No matter what it is, it's going to be a no.
Yeah.
But if you can then start to demonstrate, this is what we do, this is who we have, these are the people that you want to target, this is what you want. I think if you do this for us, it will help you this way. That conversation is an easy conversation to have with whoever you're having that conversation with. And I didn't get, at the beginning, not many people get that. They just go, yeah, it's a good idea, it's going to get lots of people fit. And I want Cadbury's, a bad example, but I want XX to sponsor me.
Yeah.
And they're going to sponsor me because I'm such a great person, and what I do is helping so many people. It doesn't work. So our biggest achievement was definitely going out alone and really focusing on our users and making us matter in their lives.
Yeah.
And not just be a service, because if you don't matter in people's lives, they will jump ship the moment they can. So
Yeah,
if you kind of run a business on something that's functioning as a service, so you say we have the best service and you're going to be with us, we have the best service. There will be a time in your business where the service will dip and it will go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But if you run a business based on mattering in people's lives, and that could be through thought leadership marketing, through when they come to your sessions, it's not just the workout, it's the tea and coffee afterwards.
Yeah.
If one day your coach doesn't turn up, they're not going to go and jump ship and go, oh, I wonder what's happened to XX. I really hit away, and they message them and all that kind of stuff. And that's what we try to do. So we build a business based on mattering in people's lives and not on providing service.
Yeah, that's such good advice on the impact of relationships and building that relationship, and not looking at people as customers, but looking at it as a community and working with people in that way. I think that is so important for whether it's a business, it's a product or a service. That is super, super important for everyone. Love it. My final question is, what piece of wisdom or advice would you like everyone in the world to kind of follow if they're setting up a business, or even in just trying to improve themselves on a daily basis?
Share. Don't, if you have a partner, if you have family, you have friends, share that idea. And if they don't agree with you, don't fall out with them because they're not agreeing with you. If they don't agree with you and they give you an honest opinion, really take that opinion on board. And that's the most, failure is the biggest fear for anyone. And most entrepreneurs don't share or even listen to anyone else because they think, either think they know it all, or they're scared of failing, or even worse, they're scared of getting help and it working. So it's like, you need it can't always be your own ideas, and take everyone's ideas, but reinvent your goal based on what everyone's telling you. I think that's one of the most important things. My wife runs a business as well, and we've shared so much throughout this journey. Yeah. And she said, "No, that won't work. Don't do that way." And first she's like, "No, I want to do it this way." And yeah, actually, why is she saying that? And he takes it back. You go, "Okay, I understand," and you do it. And it's that whole process where, if you're open to it, you're already winning. And not many people can take criticism and share as you would think. So that's what I say is one of my definite takeaways.
Boom, solid advice. Born, look, thank you very much. I think we could talk for ages about especially the similarities between sport and business. That topic I find super, super interesting. So how can people find our parks? I mean, I assume social media, website as well.
Yeah. So ourparks.org.uk, on the web, social media, all handles ourparks UK. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And find me at Born Barikor as well. We're always doing crazy workouts, shooting crazy, funny little social media adverts as well. So have a click and share.
Awesome, brilliant. Well, Born, thank you very much. Everyone, I hope you've enjoyed this Suzero success story. I'm sure you, like me, think everything that Born has achieved and the challenges and where it's going, and his mentality around pivoting and just personal development along with the business is spot on, and I hope you can kind of follow that advice. So thank you very much for watching and listening, and hope to see you again soon.
Thanks.